Welcome, everyone.
Blite Nation, what up?
Ian, Vito, and Liz coming at you with another Donald Trump interview with Tyrus.
This is the first time we've had Trump, not Trump.
Tyrus,
yeah.
It's just, it was another Donald Trump interview we're doing. I think we've done Tim Pool before and another one. But,
we did the All In podcast,
yes,
too.
we did that one. And did you know that Andrew Schultz's shows got canceled after he had him on flagrant?
No, I didn't know that.
Yep. Bam canceled all of his shows, but was begging. Yep. 3 hours after the interview, he got an email having all his shows canceled. 3 hours after the interview.
That's crazy.
How fucked up is that? Just because he interviewed the man.
That's crazy.
That's
didn't
insane.
say he was voting for him. He just interviewed him.
Yep.
That's messed up.
Now that they canceled him, he said this dude's gonna win in a landslide.
That's crazy.
Yep. I bet you watch. Andrew Schultz is gonna next time once his next tour dates come up, he's gonna be sold out all the way across. And I can't wait for his comedy roasting. He's becoming a really, really good roast master.
That's crazy. Just because he interviewed him?
Because he interviewed Trump for 2.5 hours. Or an hour and a half, something like that. It might have been 2 hours, something like that. But yeah.
That's
if you
crazy.
get a chance, watch the Donald Trump on flagrant interview.
Alright.
Hit that play button and let's get this interview started.
You debated Biden the first time, and you debated him the second time. How much of a difference did you notice from the two?
You look at Kamala, she's worse than Biden. The next day, you remember they announced that crime is up like 45%, so I was right. But I haven't gotten an apology from David, but I don't watch him anymore. I haven't gotten an apology.
I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
You had questions about why he's a family man.
I don't know.
First of all, Mr. President, thank you so much for doing this. This is a tremendous honor for me.
I'm a big fan, so just so you understand.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad because I've got an issue with you, and and when you gave me this opportunity, first of all, thank you for coming on the Gutfeld show. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a good show.
And I actually owe you an apology before we start. I've been very critical about how you fight all through the campaigns. I voted for you because I like policy. Right. I didn't know you as a man. And I think when you don't understand what a man fights for, you can get lost, especially with all the noise we're seeing from fake news, etc. Who created these pictures from you.
Nice.
So Gutfeld show's over. Cameras are off. We go backstage, and I expected you to be like every politician or anybody I've ever celebrity I've bodyguarded for, and you met my family, and you talked to my daughter. Mm-hmm. My daughter is 10 years old. Her name is Georgie. You guys talked for 20 minutes. If nobody knew, you could have.
Former President of the United States talked to a 10-year-old for 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Kamala doing that?
Yeah.
You asked if he's a family man.
Okay, no, I know. I can admit when I'm doing some wild shit. Just hit space. We're good.
Could have been her grandfather, and you were talking about her horses and her dreams, and I was sitting there and I was like, I have been so wrong about this man because I never understood why you fight the way you fight. You're a family man.
I am.
You're a father.
And your daughters are gorgeous, really, and your wife, the whole thing. I mean, you have got some setup, I'll tell you. But your family's great, and you're great, and you've really done something, and you've captured a certain spirit. You know, a friend of mine who's very smart, he's also a very big guy. He said, because I'm big and strong, people think I'm not the smartest guy.
Oh, I know.
Okay? You are a really smart guy. And I see it, and I've watched it, and I like the show, and we have the privilege of having had the highest rating in the history of the show when I did it a couple of weeks ago. That was his highest
of all
rating.
time.
Of all time, yeah.
We beat network television.
You beat everybody.
And they were up 35 million homes,
Yes.
and it was a landslide.
Yep.
Now, you're putting it on me. I'm throwing it back to you, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
Why do we not hear more about Donald Trump, the father, the grandfather? And I did a deep dive. There are some things you have done that when they say those horrible things like he's Hitler, he's a racist, did they not forget in 1991 what you did with Nelson Mandela? Would you care to share that? Because I would love to hear that.
I never talk about it.
No, you do not. And I know why, because you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, I just have great relationships with a lot of people. People say that, a little bit like you do. I don't think it's a narrative the press likes. Maybe it's not even a narrative that I should have. We have to protect our country, and maybe we should let the other side. I don't even call them the enemy. I think we have more of an enemy from within than we do from outside. If you have a smart president, they talk about China and Russia and everything else. If you have a smart president, they're not going to be the problem. We have a bigger problem from within, and they hate it. I noticed today they were saying he said the enemy from within. Of course, it's Adam Schiff. These are bad people. These are sick people and bad
Enemy from
people.
within is see?
And it's true. But
when he says the enemy from within, he's talking about the bad politicians that are steering this country in the bad direction.
Yeah, exactly.
The ones that have broken the law that should not be sitting in Congress. Like, how long did it take them to get rid of Bob Mendes, who was taking gold? You know what I mean? And then there's people
Bob
that are trying
Mendes.
to go after him for nothing.
Bob Mendes makes me laugh, bro. I didn't do anything. I don't know how I got the gold. Motherfucker,
It was
what you
just-
mean you don't know how you got the gold?
I just thought it was a gift.
Like, bro, you... Oh, man.
It's like that's like Jamal Bowman when he pulled the fire alarm. I thought it opened the door.
Who?
No.
Jamal Bowman?
No.
Who the fuck is that?
He's the former congressman of New York. He got voted out.
He pulled a fire alarm?
Yes,
Yeah.
to interrupt Congress. He interrupted a session of Congress. What the January 6 people were being convicted of.
So what was his reason for... So
He thought-
pulling the alarm was to just...
He thought it opened the door, even though there's video evidence of him pulling down.
Don't fire alarm say fire alarm on him?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
he
it's
wa-
red, right?
He was the principal of a school. Yep.
He,
Uh,
maybe it was next to the door button.
Nope.
Maybe he got...
He pulled down the signs of saying Congress is in session.
Oh.
He knew exactly what he was doing. But go ahead, hit that play
Yeah,
button.
I was just
But
trying to be an
that's
asshole.
what I know. But that's what he means when he says that.
he was caught on camera too, right?
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
what he's saying and actions are totally different.
That's crazy.
For sure.
Yep.
I think it's a narrative that they don't like, frankly. I think the fake news, a term I think I came up with. I'm very proud.
No,
of
you
it.
did. You coined
It's
it.
not
You
tough.
should probably trademarked it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, I should try.
I'm not going to give you business tips.
But it's funny because it's a great term, but it's actually not strong enough because it's beyond fake. It's really bad.
Nelson Mandela and 80 of his constituents were trying to come to the United States.
Yeah.
The United States government wasn't helping him. No one was helping him. You chartered a 727 plane for their entire trip.
Yeah.
How was somebody, and it's crazy because you can talk about anything, and why is it hard for you to talk about the things you've done? It runs in your family. Your father helped build a synagogue. I mean,
You know what he
why
did,
do
right?
we not know those things?
He flew Nelson Mandela
It's
home.
something that I've never. I love doing it. I don't need
Did you know
praise
that?
for it.
Nah, I didn't know that.
That's what Tyrus was just explaining. He chartered a 727 to fly him and his entire group of people home. When the government wasn't helping him, nobody was helping him. They were just leaving him. Trump helped him.
Have you seen this full-length interview?
I've seen about half of it.
Okay.
I fell asleep.
I haven't
Okay.
seen it. I haven't watched it. So.
But I didn't even know that.
Who is this?
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
He was a civil rights leader in the 80s. He knows who he is.
Yeah, he was jailed in his own country.
Yep. I believe that's when he flew him home from that.
Yeah, he was jailed in
Which
his
country was it?
It was one in Africa.
Don't remember which.
But he was jailed. It wasn't no like 5 years.
No.
He was jailed for a while because he was speaking up against politics.
Yep. But Trump's the racist one?
I guess so. I don't.
The racist chartered the plane to send them all home?
I mean, David Duke certainly ain't doing it.
I mean, seriously, come on, people. Gotta hit the play button.
You got to stretch a little further than that, Liz.
I don't.
You know,
We
Ian.
all like a certain level of praise, but I've never. I just like helping people. I help a lot of people, and I enjoy doing it, and I never talk. It's nice that you bring it up. I also think it's not a narrative that the press likes talking about, for me.
But I think it would help a lot of the American people who have been misled, I myself included. Now, listen, I'm voting for you now because of the man you are, not just because of the policies, because not every American will get the opportunity that I had to saw who you were backstage. And that's why I have this list. I mean, I have testimonials. We can't go through all of them because
I want to see them.
Now, this was, I had to dig deep.
I like that.
You donated $100,000 to raise dogs. You're not even a dog guy.
Yeah.
Explain that.
Well, that's Lara. So I have the wife of Eric, and she's a terrific person. You know, she's actually now a very big and important person in getting elected in the Republican Party. She comes from North Carolina. She loves the dogs, and I did that in her honor, actually. And, you know, if you listen to her, boy, dogs are treated very badly. They're, you know, some evil people having to do even with dogs. So I did that for my daughter-in-law, yeah, more so than me. I don't know that much about dogs, but I want to take care of them. And I had an opportunity. You know, as president, you can do a lot of things. I did a lot. The size of the kennels, the size of the cage. You know, there's like cages that they're in. And it's terrible. It's like you have no room, no nothing. And she came in with a whole group of people. These are people that really fight hard for dogs. I mean, you have people that fight. And she's a good person, so I did it for her.
I have hundreds of employees who have said things like, you've paid medical bills, you paid mortgages, rents, you've helped get family members. There's one story in here where a brother came in with a business plan, nobody would hear him. You gave him 10 minutes, you shook his hand, and you cut him a check. Yeah. Why is it so hard for you and even your team? I'm a little upset. These are things that I think the American people need to know. And I get it, you're humble because you're a father first and a grandfather. And that's something, again, one thing we need in this country is we need a father figure again. We need husbands and boyfriends and young men we need to see that fathers are capable of great things, because we've dealt with it, especially in the last 3.5 years, a complete dismemberment of what it is to be a man. We're under attack for everything.
I agree with him.
We are.
I completely agree with him.
Well, actually, manhood is under attack. I see things that are so beautiful, and the next day I see them knocking the hell out of somebody for doing something that a day before I said, what a wonderful thing. No, we have to get back a little bit more. You know, the other thing under attack is religion. Religion was like the glue that kept this country together, and so many people are mocking it now. They mock it, and it just kept our country together. But it's absolutely under attack. And under attack by this administration. And you look at Kamala, she's worse than Biden. Biden he's out of it, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But she's actually not as smart as Biden. Biden was smarter than her. I think to this day he is. And I don't think the country can take a chance on having her. I think it's a tremendous... I don't even think it's a chance.
Well, let me ask you,
I think it would be a disaster.
Let me ask you the question that was posed there last night that she refused to answer. You debated Biden the first time, and you debated him the second time. How much of a difference did you notice between the two?
So, are you talking about her and him, or are you talking about just him?
This is interviews about you.
Well, he was different. I think he had a really bad night. I don't think it...
Cognitively?
I don't know. He had a really bad... The second time.
Yeah.
I think he had a really bad time of it. So I debated him before, and he was okay. Look, I hit him hard. I asked him about $3.5 million. Remember when Chris Wallace was protecting him? Chris Wallace is not doing so well. Chris Wallace is not Mike. But I asked him about the 3.5 given to him by the mayor of Moscow's wife. I said, how do you justify this? And then I always have 2 or 3 people to debate. The last time I had David Muir.
I call them interventions.
Oh, they're terrible. Well, David Muir, I said, crime is through the roof. It's way up. And he said, no, it's not. It's way down. The FBI said so. Well, the FBI didn't include a lot of places.
Funny how that is.
Yeah. The next day, you remember they announced that crime is up like 45%. So I was right. But I haven't gotten an apology from David Muir, but I don't watch him anymore. I haven't gotten
They did
an
do that, by
apology.
the way. The FBI
No,
did
I think
release crime is
Biden, look, the debate he had was not great.
I don't know if you saw. There was a stealth edit to the statistics, which showed that crime is actually way up. So they've been lying to us that the crime is down when it's way up. he was right, and they tried to say he was lying.
I'm sorry if it seems like I'm quiet. I'm just focused
No,
on
you're listening. You're listening.
I'm listening.
I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I'm just
that's
listening.
insane.
I'm listening.
I'm doing the same thing. I want to know what else he has done.
Because remember during the debate, he said that crime is way up, and they said, no, it's actually down. Well, they're not including a lot of statistics. They finally added those statistics, and it's way up.
I forget, were they summarizing crime like throughout the whole country or in like separate states?
No, it was through the entire country, but they weren't including cities like L.A.
So they weren't including the major
Chicago,
major cities.
Yeah, exactly. So they were manipulating the data to say crime is down. Well, when you selectively grab whatever fucking data you want, of course it can.
Yeah, you can manipulate stats. It's not that hard to do it.
If you're trying to be honest and show exactly what's happening everywhere, it doesn't look good for them.
Let's hit that play over here. I'm zoned in. Sorry, guys. I'm just.
All right. I know.
But I think that he's a step above her, actually.
Speaking of apologies, the brave men and women on the border, especially the horse division, that their lives were put in shambles. One of the things I have on my policy list was that would you consider giving them a day at the White House, a moment to be recognized?
Are we talking what they were saying about the whips and everything else, which didn't exist?
Not just them, but their families. When the President of the United States comes out and condemns them.
You do it. You set it up. We win, I'm there, because I said we have to win. If we don't win, we're not going to have a country. You're right. They were brutalized. You know, it's interesting. These people are not smart, but they're vicious. They're very vicious. And you see it. It's like fascist. It's like Marxist. I don't know what the hell it is. But the level, look at me, the weaponization of the Justice Department. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
America, again, this is not hyperbole. This is a guy, I don't fly private jets. I fly every airport I go to all over the country. 4 years ago.
Are you able to use like one seat? Because you are
first class. First class.
Yes,
one seat. Yeah.
Well, that means you have to stay wealthy.
Well, or keep billing Fox, one or the other.
That's I like that.
Yeah, outsource the bill. But again, it when I think about the verbiage and the things that are said about you, even after, we don't even know how many assassination attempts there has been. But we know too, one of the things that when you, in that moment, when you stood up and you yelled, fight, 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 again, that's where I'm seeing the father. It wasn't about you. It was letting your family know you're okay and you're more concerned about the people. But yet, I'm still waiting for the interview to talk to you about that. Why are we not sharing in that? That was a tremendous moment. I was in Oklahoma doing a stand-up show, and I thought I was going to cancel because I wasn't leaving the TV screen because I'm watching an assassination attempt on our president.
People were watching that. There's no question about it. That was a big deal.
But I went anyways to the show thinking no one would come, and they came. And instead of doing a stand-up show, I did a Q&A to talk about it. And there was a lot of veterans that were there that were talking about how much they support you and they believe in you, and that they were generally concerned. But they said they had no fear because when they saw you stand, you stood for them.
See, that's what people saw
because veterans, our police, our first responders have been. Forget the moral outrage of how they're treated.
You see, when he explains it like that, that's how people felt when he stood up. Does it make sense?
I see what you're saying. What was the? I don't know. I don't have the poll thing on me right now. I'm just thinking, like, what was the climate, or like, what were the numbers looking like between him and Kamala?
They were like, she was up by like 3 points, I think, at the time.
Before the assassination attempts?
No, because Biden was still in the race.
Yeah.
So he was way above her, technically, with that. It's when she entered the race. But against Biden, he was actually...
So Biden was still...
He was up against Biden, actually, at the time.
Before the assassination attempts,
he
was?
No, yeah, before the assassination attempt, he was up. He was actually... Because it was right after the debate, and he was smashing him in all the battleground states.
Oh, because that's when Biden had the scary night.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, okay. And that's when the DNC ran.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So technically, yeah, he was technically destroying Kamala against any hypotheticals, but he was beating Biden by like 5 points at the time in all the battleground states. That's why they pulled him, because they felt he couldn't win.
Okay.
And then when she got entered into the races in New Canada, she instantly gained, like, she was up by like 5 points. Because people started to, the more they see her, the more she's tanked, and now he's leading again in all the battleground states.
Okay.
I know you're asking.
Well, no, I was just thinking because to me, when I first saw I think we were listening to the Eminem album when the shit
Yes,
happened, weren't we?
yes, we were actually. Yeah.
Because after that, and I like, of course, that gave the news something to talk about for a whole damn week. Throughout that whole week, I was like, "Whoa, whoever did this, y'all just made him more popular. Congrats."
If he didn't turn his head, he'd be dead.
No, yeah, I know, but like even for example, even
Corey Competore.
even if it was a successful attempt, he would have been a martyr.
Oh yeah.
Which is why I don't think you should ever. There should be no violence towards a political candidate.
So stupid.
But now the fact that so the man lived through the attempt, you just made either way. You just made him more popular.
You're 100% right.
Like, so that was just a stupid idea to do.
But do you understand? But him standing up, how made his supporters feel like. Okay,
No, yeah, I get it, yeah.
Especially his kids, especially when somebody was shot and killed there, and two other people were severely injured.
Yeah. No, yeah, I see
And
what you
people
mean.
were trying to say he staged it. He staged somebody dying.
I don't think he staged it.
Man,
No.
There's no way in hell.
No, I don't think he staged that.
But the first initial stories that came out was Donald Trump briefly stopped speech because of loud noises. Those were the first stories that were hitting online.
Well, organizations got to get their views, I guess. Shit, you gotta.
They didn't want to say this man got shot.
They wanted to stretch out that moment, like, oh, nothing happened to him.
He was shot.
That's crazy.
He doesn't turn his head. He's dead.
The headline and the story completely freaking opposites.
Yeah, it's wild shit.
That's
Imagine just watching TV and bang headshot someone drop like live.
Dude, you understand 140
That's
yards
right.
is nothing?
Oh no, that's close as shit. I could probably shoot.
You could hit that.
and I've never shot in a gun.
Exactly. That's the scary thing. That's how lucky
Yeah,
he is.
that's what? It's a football field and a half.
Yeah.
If I were to hold my breath, and like if I'm doing target practice, just shooting at a tree, okay, you put a target on a tree, and I'm holding a gun, and I held my breath and aimed, I could probably. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a bullseye.
Yeah, but you're hitting your target.
But I'll hit the target.
Imagine someone who's been taking practice and shooting for the past however long they've been shooting.
No, that's crazy.
A little practice with it.
I was just shocked that with that distance there was no Secret Service there.
Yeah,
That's the part that I was like,
exactly.
damn.
Exactly.
I'm like, damn, y'all not even over there?
There were so many failures that day that
That's like
That shit was wild.
very
makes you wonder
questionable.
what's going on. Makes you
Questionable.
question what's going
No,
on.
yeah, that
It's
shit was
like-
wild. I ain't even gonna lie to you. That shit was wild.
Wasn't it inside job? What was it?
But it all comes back to why he stood up and put his fist up.
Yep.
Because I know you felt a certain way about it the first time you reacted to it. And then I explained it to you. Tyrus explained it that way. It made everybody feel like, oh shit, he gave everybody hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, it would have fucked the country up if y'all just witnessed the dude just drop, like just take a bullet to the head and just drop it. It would have fucked the country up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it
Chaos.
would have fucked the country up bad.
Chaos.
The
That's
amount
what
of
would
chaos
happen.
would be
bad.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
We don't want that. People don't want that.
Nah. Shit would have been out, and people would have been out in the streets. Oh, that would have been bad. Let's back that up a little bit. It's
This one, right?
the one to the left, yeah. The left arrow. You'll see it. There you go.
Yeah.
Now hit play.
First responders have been, forget the moral outrage of how they're treated.
They've been
The
brutalized.
funding, stuff like that.
Sure.
And you have been doing some stuff with taxes.
Yeah.
Now, I did a little bit, and I'm not a mathematician, but I did a little bit of checking. One of the things that one of the policies, like, would you consider thinking about for our veterans, for those who serve, for those who are police department, to where their taxation is the fact that they're giving their bodies to this country instead of having to pay taxes. None of these cities want to give them raises, so at least let them keep their money.
There's a hidden 5-minute credit
Soldiers
trick that
kind of
millions of
shouldn't be
Americans are
taxed.
using
They are
to send
kind of
their
putting their
scores
lives on the
soaring.
line.
Have you tried it
That's
yet?
why they're signing up.
I've never heard that before.
You know what I
It's
mean?
like a very interesting.
Well, veterans probably shouldn't be taxed because they're paying the ultimate price.
Your life.
Yeah, they're giving their life. Why are we taxing our vets?
The amount of things that they seen that we don't see, the things that they go through,
The amount of time they're away from their family and friends,
the freaking
the mental stuff they go through.
missing limbs, like there's more up here, of course, than the body, missing a hand and missing whatever. It's more up here. Sometimes it's not the same. They will never be the same. They will never be the same person.
You're signing up for a reason. You're giving your life for this country. Even if you're working in an office in San Diego for the military, if they send you, they can still send you to fucking Alaska, Serbia.
I mean, I've already said if you're in the military, you should get free health care.
Imagine being able to keep all the money you make. Knowing that your family is going to be taken care of because you have all that extra cash that you're putting away to, maybe you left and you have your wife is pregnant. God forbid you're already 2 or 3 kids in.
Yeah, there's a lot of situations like that too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Imagine at 18 being able to realize if I put the next 15 years in, it's all tax free. I can put away. Because I know if I make it out, I can be able to do something and start a business. And not have to rely on government services to keep me going and end up in the fucking street. Imagine the mental security that will give you to keep going. Knowing that you're going to be financially stable when you get out. You put 10 solid years in, the amount of the nest egg that you're creating for yourself to go start something, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I see what you're trying to say, but you gotta have to regulate the shit out of it because people are gonna take advantage of it.
Why? Because you're signing up for the military?
No, because okay.
Explain how you take advantage.
What if someone was dishonorably discharged? They don't get
You
shit.
lose it.
You lose it? Okay. What if someone was only there for a couple of years?
You have to do a minimum amount of service to be able to collect it.
Well, like 5 years and up,
or
10.
I would say.
I think for life you got at
or
least
8.
If you don't, so if you're saying that
No, you're only tax free on the amount of time you're in the military.
Okay.
When you get out and go start your own business, then you start paying taxes.
I see.
Okay.
I thought you were saying for like the rest of your life. I was like, you can't do it that way.
Yeah,
well, you can qualify for that if you spend your entire life in there and you retire at 60.
Okay.
You spent 15 years in the military.
So you're saying if someone does 15 years in the military, they come out and they get 15 years of tax free. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, or you technically, if you hit a certain milestone, you're tax free for the rest of your life. You do 20 years in the military, you're tax free the rest of your life.
Because I was gonna say, I'm like, if that's for life,
on you, not your business. Your business still pays taxes. I'm talking about the person.
I don't think that will work.
Different.
I don't think that will work out like that because if that's like for life, what about halving the tax?
I don't think you can do it for life.
Well, you can do half the tax for the rest of their life. Like
exactly.
Or a decreased rate where they're only paying in at a 50% rate of what it would normally be for the average American because of what they
let's say if I pay, I'm a regular citizen, whatever, and I pay 100, then
they qualify at
50.
That would actually make sense. So you're actually still getting something. But I would say it's on the person because if they're still giving themselves a salary, then that goes free. But they're still paying taxes on their company that they create. That business is still paying into employment tax, unemployment tax, and all that other stuff. I'm talking about the person, not anything that they create. It doesn't follow what they create. It's just that person.
The person, yeah.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Okay.
That's where people get confused.
Yeah.
Just because they create a company, that company doesn't become tax free. No, that is not how that works.
Okay. I think I'm understanding more what you're saying now. Okay.
But the gentleman that spent 30 years in the military, I think, what's he gonna go do? Anything he does, he shouldn't have to pay taxes
by
on.
the time you get, say you go on the 18 years old, you do 30 years in the military. By the time you get out, that's all you know.
You might be just living on the money you made while you were in.
Yeah, you that's all you know.
You might do private security.
Yeah, or law enforcement.
But you're gonna be what? If you're imagine you're 18, 30 years.
No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
especially if you saw like war and shit, then
I bet you
your mental health could definitely use the non-taxes.
That's what I mean. Doesn't that give you the mental security and the morale to be like, I got this because I know I'm secure?
I see what you mean.
If anything happens to me, I know my family's taken care of.
I know my family's all right. That's fair.
Because I think if you're automatically, and if something happens, you go to war, and if you just got in and you get killed, your family should get paid for 6 years worth of service. Whether you were in for 6 months.
Because technically,
you see what I mean?
In a way, like your immediate family serves too.
Yes, they do. Like, I don't care if this 18-year-old signs up and he goes and we go to war and he goes over there and dies. That family should be taken care of for the next 6 years.
Yeah, I would say your immediate family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their wife,
don't be
child.
trying to second cousins don't get taxed. Nah,
right.
Different.
You gotta be
you know
immediate
what I mean?
family.
That's what I mean.
It's like a head start kind of thing while you get your stuff together.
I see what you mean.
You know, you got a
I think that's
time.
Okay.
Because imagine finding out your husband just died.
Yeah, no, I feel
it's
you.
like, what
you got bills. It's like, fuck, I got bills coming.
You should
you
know
have
for
kids.
the next 6 years you
what
have to get on your
do?
feet.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially if you now a single parent of like 3 kids.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Trump's willing to listen to stuff like this.
I feel you.
Kamala's not. She wouldn't even take a meeting with RFK. He did.
No, that's fair. Let's hit that space button.
Thing. It's the kind of thing you would think of, right? Because they have been treated so terribly.
It's going to take more than a hug. We need to, and here's the deal: if you're looking at serving in this country, in the military, or a police officer, or a firefighter, and you're young and you're coming up, and you don't have to pay taxes because you're paying. It's almost an incentive to where we can get people interested.
And other countries do that, as you know.
Yeah.
Other countries do that.
See, that's also interesting, like for working as a
firefighter
or a policeman.
In some countries, though, it's a requirement for the men to go to the military.
But imagine if you're working as a cop and you're working as a fireman, you know the money you're making is not being taxed while you're working in that field. Because your life is on the line while you're in that field. Knowing that you have that protection and going back. Obviously, again, you do something that can cause you to lose it all. But that's the incentive. That's the incentive to stay in line.
Yeah,
you
that
see
is
what I
an
mean?
incentive to stay in line because you gotta. There's gotta be some consequence. Like if you start acting up and shit, then it's like, no, you out now. You gotta pay taxes.
Yep, but that's why body cams are on it 100% of the time.
Yeah, stop turning that shit off.
But you see that would be a major incentive.
I can understand that.
Imagine the Americans that would be lining up for that, knowing that again, wow, my family's gonna be taken care of.
I can understand that.
I know that it deals with the mental stress you're going to be putting on yourself in that.
Or when you go to be a police officer or a firefighter, you got to put a certain amount of years in and then you go. The same thing for the military.
Well, again, you only get to keep the tax-free status if you stay. You don't. It doesn't kick in until after like 8 years.
Okay.
Because if you leave the force before it kicks in, you pay all that money back. You're still not paying any taxes on it. But if you get kicked out or leave, that money's gone. You're paying that back.
Yeah, especially if you did something, you got
it's coming back.
Out.
Yep.
You got to find a way to pay that back.
That money's coming back to it. So
because it's you who fucked up.
That's also the incentive to, oh shit, I can't fuck this up. I need this money. You see what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, Vito. All right.
I think we'd have way better cops.
Yeah, if they know it's gonna fuck up their life insurance, taxes, whatever. If it's gonna fuck up their wife and the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, of course, the one who cares, you know.
Someone spits in their face and they get thrown on the ground. No, you understand why they got thrown on the ground. That's why the body cams are on.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're about to lose all your tax exemption and all that money and resources, I'm sure you're going to keep that camera on.
Oh, yeah. You're not shutting that camera off.
Yeah.
Because you want that to back up anything that happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But that would be such a huge incentive to get people to want
Yeah,
to
fair.
That's a very good motivation.
Fair enough.
Motivation
Okay,
right there.
Vito. Okay.
Keeping more of your own money and actually you're spending it more on the economy.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
That's how you make more money.
What a way to actually, and being able to fund that. Wow, that would be such a huge incentive for people.
It would. It's not, honestly, it's not a bad idea. It's really not.
It would get better cops. They would be able to afford to be able to put in for like pay for the training and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To be able to understand jujitsu and stuff like that actually can help diffuse situations. Because if you knew other ways before you had to go to lethal, we've been over this before, but we can get lost on that.
Yeah. Let's hit that play button.
Think about, it's something that nobody ever brought up. I've never heard it. It's interesting you're bringing it up.
That
You're
is a
like
great
my
idea.
tax person there. But, yeah, I mean, something has to be done.
Yes.
And we have to
And
attract
I think
people.
you're the president to do it.
Well, the military is now not attracting people. They're not going in.
That'd
And
be
I
a way to
think
get
it's
them back.
because they don't
That would attract a
respect
lot of people.
The people at
Tax-free.
the top.
Yeah.
The commanding officer. I mean, they're not. The commander-in-chief is not. I think you have to have. We were not having this problem 5 years ago. We have problems in the military right now. The one thing I will say, though, and I tell the story, we really did a great job with our military. I rebuilt the military, right? And we got rid of ISIS. And I got to know them during this very short period of time. It was supposed to take 5 years. We did it in about a month. Remember that?
Yep.
And I got to know the real military, not these guys that are woke and that are like, should I mention them? Yeah.
I think we get it with the woke.
No.
Yeah.
With
I'm knowing. Trust
with
me.
Millie and his statements.
Yes.
And I mean, look, I guess Mattis is a nice guy, but we have people in there that are much different. Not the people on television, the people that got rid of ISIS quickly. I was told it was going to take 5 years, and we did it in a matter of literal weeks. And I said, this is a great military. And by the way, they're not woke. You could never make them woke. These are guys, you will never, ever make them woke. But they did
they
a
have
great
to
job.
follow orders.
Great job.
Now, you brought us Space Force.
Yeah.
And with now partnering with Elon Musk and stuff, I think we're going to have some great things. But one of the things I've been very critical of this administration is that I think we need to have a school force. We need to make our schools hard targets. And there's again, looking for employment for our servicemen when they come out. Because I feel like what's happening in our schools isn't a police thing, it's a military thing. Because they are trained to look for these signs and stuff. If we had military, not necessarily military, but they'll
Being
be
able to
coming over
transition
with
them into the
social
police
workers,
force when they come
military
back because they know
police,
these
and
tactics.
So let me
has
ask you
their
this. So
own-
what about teachers that are in the military and they're teachers, they leave the military, they become history teachers, they become math teachers, and they're in the room and they get to know the students and they know how to use a gun. You can't have people that don't have any idea about what to do with guns.
Exactly.
But people that were in the military, that are in the classroom, and they have access to guns, whether it's on them or in a little safe or something. The problem is if it's in a safe, it takes a long time to get it, right? So, But sometimes I think, and I've heard that and I've thought about it a lot, and in some ways I like that more than just having police standing someplace in the building. Do you like that idea? It would be a small percentage of the teachers, like 5%, but that would be much more than you would ever have with...
Anything is better than nothing. Our banks are safer than our schools, and our greatest investment are our kids.
Yeah.
So I have an issue with that. And here's the deal: I've learned a lot about this administration trying to get things done and talking to people. I speak with a lot of mayors and a lot of my travels and stuff. And this administration was supposed to be all about the environment and the Green New Deal and all that crap.
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not with physical products.
But it's amazing. So
You notice how that stopped? I'm in the middle of a campaign, hopefully the end of a campaign, and it's going to be successful. But we're in a campaign. Nobody ever talks about the environment. They don't talk about it. They want clean air. They want clean water. This Green New Scam is the worst thing that's ever happened. They're destroying the windmills all over the place. You fly over these gorgeous areas, you have windmills going all over.
You're not going to have any birds around, and the ones in the ocean are messing up the whales. Windmills were great back when we all had buggy whips and carts.
Yeah, they were much nicer then. Actually, they were actually much nicer. No, when you think of what they've done, though, with all of the money that they spent, trillions and trillions of dollars, China does nothing, by the way, just so you understand.
No, China, India, absolutely not.
No, they don't do anything. And by the way, that flies right over our country. You do understand.
Yeah.
Those winds, 4.5 days, it's over. So here we are. It costs us twice to make a product, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And we're trying to keep everything nice and clean. But the wind's flying in from China, India, and every place else. It's crazy, isn't it?
Well, one of the things the EP, one of the things that because living in Louisiana, we have a horrible problem with sewage and water overfills and things like that. And the budget for these mayors have this budget for the sewage, but yet nothing's ever done. Right? These engineers and their plans are based off how much money they get, opposed to solving the problem. Right. So Mike Rowe told me about a company.
Good guy.
Oh, yeah. Mike, let me put my glasses on. I want to get this right.
I can't believe you wear glasses, huh?
50. Sewage Century, right? 50? Brad Colbert, I believe you knew his father on the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
So they came up with this little tiny invention. It's like this, like a mushroom, a little ball in it. And when you put it in the manholes, it separates the gas, and the little ball comes up, and the water can't come out the manhole. So the sewage water doesn't spill into overflows. It costs $0.25. You don't need a committee for it. You just put them in. I think one city was like $250,000 opposed to the $20 million they spent, and it pays for itself in a year, and it's done. So here I am in Louisiana, going, oh, this is great, and we have to form a committee. We have to do this.
Well, you have a great new governor in Louisiana. I bet you he'd take a look at it because your new governor, a Republican, is he was the attorney general. Now he's a governor. So if you give me that, I'll send it to him. Okay.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Sounds good, right?
Yeah.
Why is that something? I mean, it's a big problem in.
It's a problem everywhere. Our drinking water, the fluoride in it, we're seeing, and then now we're seeing sewage, and it's a lot of autoimmune diseases are happening with our kids. If you give me,
I will send it, and I'll bet you get action.
I moved.
Probably when he sends
one because my daughter's an equestrian now, and I had to move to New Jersey. But we eventually had to move because not only that, what we're seeing with the hurricane storms, the insurance companies jacking it up. Now I'm blessed to make a good living, but I'm not paying $300,000 a year in house taxes. So
insurance is one of the biggest increases, and it's happened in the last 4 years. People are going crazy with the insurance costs. And I say, what about self-insurance? Sometimes people are better off with self-insurance. They can't afford the insurance. And then the problem is when you need the insurance, they don't want to pay. And they negotiate, right? They say, we're not going to pay you, and you end up getting 5 cents on the dollar. It's a problem. Yeah. It's a real problem.
And, I know you have a million things to do, but father to the grandfather, I would like to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
I made a mistake with my child, my daughter, when she wanted to get an equestrian. I was supposed to tell her she was allergic. I didn't do that to horses because it's expensive. It's unbelievable. And you guys talked a lot about it. Now, my daughter's now going to Wilmington, Florida to compete. Okay. And I had to move the horses down there.
So she's very good, right?
Very good. Like I'm in. I'm in.
Good.
Yeah. After this is over, I'll be sweeping this place up.
Good.
Every extra dollar.
Good.
But your granddaughters and your family, do they ride horses as well? They do equestrian?
Not too much. They like it. They do it maybe a little bit, but not like your daughter. No, your daughter's supposed to be very, like you, a talented athlete, right?
Yeah.
You can see it. No, I've heard that.
Yeah, my son plays baseball at Travel League. So I'm the GM. The way I look at it, if you're the first one in, last one to leave, daddy invests. Right. I just forgot to put a salary cap.
A
little cheaper.
I forgot to put a salary cap.
No, but it's never.
No, but we're going to be in Wilmington. How far is Wilmington from Mar-a-Lago?
So Wilmington is about 20 minutes away.
Can I get a group rate?
Yes, you're going to come over. We're going to have dinner with your daughter and your family, your wife. We're going to come over and have dinner. But do you mean Wellington or Wilmington?
Wilmington. I say it wrong because I just paid to have the horses moved, so it's a little traumatic.
Yeah, it could be, but it's either one's about 20, 25 minutes to come over. I'd love to have you on.
Thank you, sir.
No, but you're a terrific guy. Look, it's that show has caught on, and the whole group is is great. But I've always watched you. You always were defending me, and a lot of people don't defend me, and I like people that defend me because I think I'm doing the right thing. And we have a lot of bad people in our country, you know. We have a lot of people that you almost say they must hate our country because what they do is so bad for our country. But I just have always...
Well, I'm not allergic to straight talk.
Yeah.
And every man of consequence that I learned from in my life never bullshitted nothing with me.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was Dusty Rhodes, whether it was my football coaches, whether it was anybody I was with, they always told it to me straight, even when I didn't like what I wanted to hear. Because I always believed everybody can handle bad news and good news, but no news and bullshit. Don't piss down my back, as my grandmother used to say, and tell me it's rain. And that's one thing that you have never done. You always, if you don't want to hear it, because the American people can accept bad news. Yep. Because when we know how bad it is, then we can look forward to getting it better. And that's, in this age of endorsements.
We don't like to be lied to.
You know, that's why you have my endorsement, Mr. President. You can take that, a cup of coffee, and do whatever you want with it.
It means a lot to me. It does.
But,
you know, I think this is going to be the most important election in the history of our country.
I agree.
Because our country's going bad. You know, I hate to say, I wouldn't do this with just politics. Our country is going bad. The things we do. I mean, men playing in women's sports, okay?
Absolutely not.
It's crazy, and let's not say it's the most important, but it's just crazy, the whole concept. Having no borders, having elections where you're not allowed to ask somebody whether or not they happen to live in the country. Just anybody can walk in.
Yeah.
It's really wacky, and we're going to get it changed, Tyrus.
I believe that. Well, now, I have to ask this because you love sports as almost as I do, especially boxing.
Yeah, I do. I love.
And
I love it.
Do you miss not being able to do all that stuff? Because like WrestleMania 4 and 5, part of my childhood, inspired me to end up becoming a wrestler. I thank you, Gutfeld, for that.
I did that. I'm in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes, you are.
And Dana is a good friend of mine with UFC. What a job he's done, right? Dana White is incredible. He's like an incredible guy. And, I was always involved. And I remember in those days, Hulk is a great guy, you have to say. Yeah. He was great. Right?
And when he ripped his shirt off, and now listen, I was a Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff guy, but I got it. But I think that was a great moment. And so you're very quick, and you can talk trash with the best of them. Yeah. Who was the biggest influence? Was it Don King or Muhammad Ali? Because your style is like ours. Like when you comes to talking trash, and I know you hung out with those guys. I know I did the search. I know that you have been. It's hilarious after reading and the stuff I've saw, and I just saw a little bit. It's hard to find, but you have been a regular guy. You never cared what color somebody was or who they slept with. All you cared was the content of their character and if they could do the damn job or not.
They were both friends of mine. Now Don King is still alive. You know, he's 92 years old.
Yeah.
He lives in Florida. He's a great guy. He endorsed me. Very strongly into it. He said, you got to vote for Trump. And I probably spoke to him a week ago, maybe. And he was great. Very different guys. But there's nobody. Don King, each incredible. Don King, nobody like that. And Muhammad Ali, nobody like that. These were two unique people. You know, Don King was a tough cookie, too. He beat the hell out of people. Unfortunately, it cost him a lot.
Yeah.
But he was a tough guy. But he's a big supporter. Muhammad Ali was actually a friend of mine. I knew him pretty well. He was amazing, actually. He was amazing. And, you know, you look at some of the fights. Sonny Liston had no chance of being beaten, and he got beaten badly twice.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you look at George Foreman, another really good guy, but he just had George Foreman.
George Foreman at that time was bulletproof.
Bulletproof. Remember when he fought three guys and knocked him out?
I was a little young, but I remember the
He fought three guys one night. And but the third guy, and Muhammad Ali was watching, the third guy, he was getting a little tired, you know.
What's your favorite? What was your favorite all-time big prize fight that you were at?
Well, believe it or not, I was at Madison Square Garden. I think it was Ali Frazier won.
Oh, so you were there. That's, in my opinion, the most historic fight of all time.
So I was there as a young guy, very young guy, and I remember there were many heart attacks. Can you believe it? They had heart attacks. Men.
Hey, Connecticut, early voting starts Monday, October 21st, so make a plan to vote.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI.
There you go.
I heard it. I don't even want to say it because it sounds ridiculous, but there were a lot of It was the craziest evening. Two undefeated, legendary fighters. They were both undefeated. and it was brutal. And that was the days of the 15-round fight,
when they had to fight.
And I can't say
yeah.
it because, look, I'm not in the ring, but those fights were better. Those extra 3 rounds.
Well, that was the championship rounds. They say 11 and 12.
They were the championships rounds.
Now, how are you dressed for that? Because it was the 70s, and it was wild, crazy. Now, you've always been kind of, never been a big fat, but was it just the suit, or did you have the jacket?
I think it was just pretty normal. But I was a very young guy.
Yeah.
But in terms of an event, I think that was maybe the greatest event.
That was the first Super Bowl.
But now you have Dana White, who's done such a great job with the UFC. I don't know, the boxing, unless something happens, the boxing doesn't look the same as it did.
Fighting over in Saudi Arabia is not the same thing, with all due respect.
No, but it's he's done a great job with the UFC. Would you ever do the UFC stuff?
Watch it? Yeah.
No, from years ago.
Oh, years ago? Yeah, if it was available.
Can you take the shots to the face? Because a lot of
I'm not going to hit in the face. I had one shot. Most of my fights were over in about 5 or 6 seconds.
Well,
the weird thing would be fighting one guy. Usually I had to fight 3 or 4 in clubs. So, but those days were behind me.
I asked Dan Gamble, so he was probably the greatest wrestler of that type, right? And he was fantastic. I said, would you have done well in the UFC if they had it then? And he said, no, because I would never let people hit me in the face. It's a whole different culture, frankly.
Well,
when you can get in the face.
Wrestling background, I think, is
a lot of.
I think Kurt Angle would have been tremendous had he not broke his neck and stuff. But I know you. I could keep you here forever, and I'm getting the circles and the doo-wops. And Mr. President, thank you.
I would only do this one for you. You don't know what's going on. I'm the keynote speaker at the biggest dinner in New York, probably of the year. And I had a choice. I was going to walk in and say, could you do me a favor? Could I do this interview tomorrow or maybe next week? And I said, I'm not doing it to Tyrus. And I got people over at the big hotel, and that room is packed, and everybody's wearing white tie, not black tie. I don't like wearing white tie, but it's white tie. And it's waiting for me. And I said, you know what? I got to do it with Tyrus because I respect him. And Tyrus has always, I tell you people, he's always stuck up for me when maybe it wasn't the thing to do, and he's always there. So I'm here for you, and I'm a little late, but that's okay.
I would have waited till tomorrow, sir, but I'm glad you did it today.
Thank you, man.
Special
guy.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Very much. Thank you.
Best of luck, Vito.
Take care of yourself.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was good.
What do you think, Ian?
I don't understand why you don't like. But then again, we've had the conversation. You're trying to be entertaining at a rally, so a rally is different than an interview.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't get to really see the man right there.
You always gotta look at both sides. You gotta inform yourself of both sides. So rally is pretty much what you gotta bring to the people, what they want to keep hearing it. How you gotta make America great again, But when you do this interview, you get a little bit more personal. You learn more.
You see a little bit more behind the scenes than you were expecting.
And you actually start to either respect more the person or hate more the person or whatever. But I respect him even more.
Yep.
Oh, we don't give you some content this week.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Y'all done got some content this week. A lot of open discussion this week.
It's going to be interesting to see who you vote for, Ian.
Oh, shit. But
Remember,
guys,
your vote can make a difference.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. A big difference, Ian.
Your vote could be the one that flips Connecticut.
Yeah. Imagine that. You could be a hero.
It's all because you decided to vote a certain way.
Right now, I know I can't think anymore. I'm reacting out.
I know.
Yeah, me too.
I'm wiped.
But that was actually a good insight into Trump.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this open discussion. Like, comment, subscribe, blow us up. Y'all know what to do.
Thanks for stopping and spending some time with us today. Hit the notification bell, give it a share because it does. Help the channel out.
Please. Thank you.
See you guys in the next one.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Peace.